bring us through the exhibit. It's a great show you put together with Sergio and many more Italian crypto artists. So I think this is yeah, brag about it. I think this is I want to see it really badly. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so it's been a good experience. We just did so Sergio, so Hackatao and I decided to do this little homage to the community. And so just to do a little research about the status of crypto art in Italy. And yes, so we put out like an open call, and 16 Italian artists participated in the open call, and then so Hackatao designed the whole gallery and exhibition on crypto voxels, and I curated the artists, so selected the art pieces, and then wrote like few lines about all of them. So it was nice to, although like one of the best things of crypto art is not to know like where people are from, and I very much enjoyed that part, but like we just wanted to put together like just to see how the situation is in Italy. So it was very curious and fun to see that there are people here that like you didn't even know that they would be Italian, but they are on the community, and so it was fun to discover who they are. Maybe I can share my screen since I am inside Crypto Voxels.
Yeah, you or Sergio is already sharing a screen because we can see the crypto voxel and the people, because some people are here, but some people are directly in the crypto voxel 3D space. So so this is great to see the 3D virtual world, and it would be great, Eleonora, to if you can give a bit of background on your background and on Sergio's background.
Okay.
Or I mean,
so I am an art curator. I'm trying to, if we even know what an art curator is. So I come from the contemporary art world. I was in China for many years, and I worked in Beijing for the artist Ai Weiwei, and then for a curator. So I was always on the side of the artists, never on the other side of galleries and museums. But now I just started an adventure with my gallery, trying to like build new sustainable systems for artists. So I am forced to call it a gallery, but I don't want for it to be like a traditional gallery. And when I left China, so in 2018, I moved to New York, and that's when I entered the fantastic and magic world of blockchain, art and blockchain. So I think that you were there as well, Fanny. It was a conference. I'm not sure. It was a conference in September 2018 in Manhattan, where I was brought by my roommate to see this digital art on the blockchain conference, and I didn't know. I even didn't know what the blockchain is at the time. Then I took many classes in New York. And so I just participated in this conference, and so I got the first contact with the creative community of the blockchain. So I don't have a tech background, although I studied a little bit just to understand what we were talking about. And that's when I met everyone, the major figures of the creative community in New York. And I just jumped into the adventure very quickly. And so the first experience that I had with doing projects with art and blockchain was the Pepe book. So me and another guy, we did, his name is Louis Parker, we did a book gathering all the digital cards of the Rare Pepe project. So for those who don't know, the Rare Pepe project is the first ever. I mean, as long as we know, the first ever art project on the blockchain. So I have basically it is the first time that someone just made a digital image and attached it to the blockchain. It was on counterparty, so Bitcoin blockchain, and they sold it for money. So it was the first transaction for art. Like, okay, I'm going to draw something and put it on the blockchain and sell it, and hopefully people bought it. This is how the Rare Pepe project started, which is this little frog that people took from
Wait, I have an example. I have a Red Pepe sticker. It's DJ Pepe. This one.
Oh, DJ Pepe, yeah. DJ Pepe is actually one of the cards, one of the most famous cards. I believe that if you buy one of the DJ Pepe cards on the Rare Pepe directory, it comes with music because he's a DJ.
He does. I have one. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, and so so we started. I was like, I'm coming from the art world, and so I was trying to. I was just asking if, like, okay, do you have literature about art on the blockchain? Do you have something that you first that you can like collect, and then that you can interface the art world with? And the answer was no. And so we just put together this book, and we presented it in New York, actually at the Art and Tech conference organized by the New Art Academy. And so it was great. This is how I started, and I'm happy to have started with Pepe, because although they transformed the little frog into a monster later for like political reasons in the US, it's a very like it speaks to people very much. It's like it's a very sweet and innocent frog. But also want to say about this meme, which is Pepe. So the meme that the alt-right took in the US was the frog. It doesn't have anything to do with the Rare Pepe, which is the project on the blockchain, and it's limited. It's 1,774 cards, and it's over. So everything that came after doesn't have to deal anything with the project on the blockchain. But even though but we were proved right about the meaning of memes, because lately in what happened in Hong Kong with all the protesters against China, Pepe the meme became a symbol of love and freedom. So it became a symbol of hate in the US, and it was like it's now a symbol of hate, and then it just became a symbol of freedom and peace in Hong Kong. Just to explain that a meme is a meme, and it just has the meaning that you give to them. So, and then after this, I was participating in with Fanny as well in many art projects in New York dealing with art and blockchain. So now I am in Italy because I came back from New York for visa issues, and then unfortunately I was blocked here for the virus. And so we heard about it, I heard from Fanny, of course, and we decided to organize this little homage to, not to the country, but just to see who's here, like operating in this crypto art system.
And it's great to sometimes, like, it's true, like what you said is that like sometimes you just don't know where people are from, but we are still all from somewhere, and we live somewhere else, and but it's a good link with the local roots. I think that and it happens that like there are a lot of really good crypto artists who come from Italy, so kudos to the country.
I didn't even know about.
It's amazing. Can I say it's amazing? I just had a walk inside, and there's a loop room where there are like a cube, and you get loops of images inside. Guys, did you put
the panic room?
The panic room.
So the artists of the panic room are this very emergent artists. It's sisters duo of a 9-year-old and a 5-year-old. My favorite of the show. So they took care of the panic room, and you can see their art pieces outside of the panic room. It's called Kaisha.
Yeah. Amazing.
I can see the. I cannot see the screen. I can only see myself.
In the little 4 squares, you will see the screen that Hackatao is sharing. If you click on Hackatao's name, it should show you. So also you have to know that like the exhibition was really put together in like no time whatsoever. So really congrats guys on putting that together. And this is just the virtual opening, which I have a non-alcoholic beer.
Why you have non-alcoholic? Yes, I see the screen.
You know. But so no, it's gonna be live for the entire weekend and probably after if they decide to, and Crypto Voxels is you know, you can go directly there, and I'm sure you will explain more, but it's quite an impressive 3D world.
So the expert of Crypto Voxels is Sergio. I'm just going in and like, so Hackatao took care of the whole design of the gallery, which is amazing. I can talk about like a just like a romantic point of view on Crypto Voxels. So it's like the gallery of your dreams, because you can, you know, like Hackatao was asking me, do you think that we should do like a Renaissance style or like industrial style? What do you want? You want Gothic? And so like you can pick different styles, and you can build walls, columns, stairs anywhere you want to, and like you know, like windows and many other things, which is pretty fun. You can put like little sculptures all around, and it's really like, from what I'm hearing, it really is the space right now to be for the crypto community. It's been like this, I believe it got stronger after the lockdown, and so you can just go, like if you go on OpenSea, you can buy land on Crypto Voxels and build your gallery. So and it's fun because like you even hear people telling you, oh, you know, like next to your gallery there is this other guy's galleries, you could visit it. So it's kind of like contemporary art, I don't know, like compound in the city. It's a little bit like Chelsea, I believe, in New York, but it's virtual, and which is so much fun. And so I am like, I think that it's also fun because if you're not very used to you know, like play video games, which I am not, it was a discovery for me. So if you press the F button, you can fly, because I was complaining that it's easier for me to walk stairs in real life than on Crypto Voxels, but now I've learned, so that's all fine. And I think another amazing thing though is that although it's a virtual gallery and it's and it has like this video game look, the art pieces that you put inside are real. They're for real, and then if you click on them, it reminds you to the link on either Super Rare or Known Origin or OpenSea or wherever, and you can actually buy it. You can see, you know, like the explanation. You can contact the artists. So it's a very fun I guess alternative way of doing art exhibitions, especially in this moment. And yes, so it was it's just, obviously you still miss the like the contact with people, but eventually, for now, before going back to hug each other, it's very nice to stay in virtual and see everyone around with these beautiful hats.
Does anybody have any questions before we go maybe more into the artists and the art itself? Or funny, I see a lot of people that I know and I'm like, oh, you're in Crypto Voxel.
I will have many questions, like, but mostly, I mean, I want to
start with one.
No, I can't. I want to quit music and start doing this shit. No, I'm kidding, but I'm wondering. As long as in Italy, of course, Italy is the country which is striking strongest on quarantine, etc. And there's a big discussion, especially for actors, theaters, and of course concerts, and less museums, but mostly also musicians and concerts. There's a big conversation about so what's next, etc. I'm starting to think how to I'm just talking, I'm just thinking loudly, but it's a beautiful point of inspiration. I mean, look at it, look how many people are there.
We have music as well.
I know, I heard.
Yeah, so you can really do anything you like as long as it's digital.
I heard. Like CryptoVoxels, is it like VR? Can also be VR integrated with that, or only via browser? I'm not familiar with CryptoVoxel yet. I have to be honest.
I don't know if it can be integrated with VR.
Because that would be you should because there's
it must be. I think there's a lot of use cases, obviously, and there's this crypto meetup in New York called Crypto Mondays, and they've started like Crypto Mondays VR, and I believe they did like one CryptoVoxel, and I mean, again, don't work for CryptoVoxel, but I think you can integrate it with Oculus and like a VR headset.
Mm-hmm.
So how and it's very easy to like customize your avatar. Obviously you can see like some have really cool shoes and like crazy jackets and like a hat and a tie, and I really like the sneakers of the pink one.
I do have a question actually, which is more of a market related question. So I can see that if I go to any art piece and click on it, MetaMask will open and will basically feature the price of the. So is there any feature that allows me not to buy, but if I want to stake some value to the art piece, to become a stakeholder of the art piece? Imagine that I don't have like 13 ETH to spend on a crypto art piece, but maybe I want to stake one or two, which would maybe grant me some interest in the future if the art piece performs well in other exhibitions, and the value rises up again. I think that Super Rare was talking about something like this. Fun,
but
isn't
Super
it?
Rare doesn't do this yet, as long as I know.
No, they don't do that yet. But I read that they are opening like the talk about letting clients be able also to stake value instead of just.
There are tons of platforms that do this. Like the first one that I've heard about time ago was Codex. There are so many, but like if we talk about integrating this in voxels, then yeah, it depends on where the piece is tokenized. So if you click on one of these pieces and it's tokenized on Super Rare, that you are not allowed to do anything. So it depends. I think that it just depends on like where the piece is linked from here to which platform.
Okay, sure. So in case
so it's also it depends on what happens on the platform you click to. Right. So like as you said, like when you click on it, like you go to Super Rare. If Super Rare does something like that, sure, it will give you the option. What you were talking about, like this fractional ownership, of NFTs. has been like done by like mecenas or like tried by Masterworks, but it's a little wishy-washy, like in terms of like does the NFT become not a utility token, but like an investment. And then they've been mostly blocked, like all these fractional ownership projects by the regulators. So they're like right now they're all a little dead, to be honest, like on this project. So, but I think one thing that is like very basis of most of the platforms that sell these works right now is the royalties aspect for the artist, and especially like the promise of like royalties for secondary sales, like things that artists like have never seen in the art market, versus like artists in the music industries. It's not perfect, but at least they like have royalties on secondary sales, and here in the art market, not really. So yeah. Is Hackatao, or most of the pieces, Leonora, are they on OpenSea or Super Rare, or
the pieces of the show? Yeah, so they are from known origin, Super Rare, and OpenSea. The only issue is that, so in order to be on crypto voxels, the pieces need to be obviously to be tokenized, and the platforms treat the tokenization in different ways. So the pieces that are from Super Rare are even like, you can even put a piece which is not sold yet, because Super Rare tokenized the moment that you put the piece on the platform, while non-origin tokenizes the piece only at the moment of the sale. So the pieces that we took from non-origin necessarily are already sold, and like OpenSea has another their own like little system, but you can still put things that are not sold. So based on this, we had to pick in order, as long as we had a token, but it's from the 3 platforms.
Awesome. I see like very cool Hackatao pieces and like around, and I'm dying to hear more a little bit about them. So I don't know if you can give us a few highlights.
Yeah, so the the piece that you see so next to the panel with the text is probably their last piece, and it's called Happy End. It's a piece that I curated, and it is, so you cannot see the video here because there was a bug in the crypto voxel, so you will have to click the link and it reminds you to the video on Super Rare. Otherwise it's a video, and it's the first time ever that Hackatao used VR. As you can see, they use the VR in a very strong way, just to like give the look at the feeling of a kid using the VR. So this little like when I saw this little character, I all of a sudden I thought about like a story, like he has this very wide space eyes, so I imagine that he can see like farther than anyone else, so he can see more beautiful things coming, but obviously you can also see like the bad things. So this Happy End guy was creating during this time of quarantine, where Hackatao also asked the people to participate, suggesting like positive and negative words. So words about quarantine and words about after quarantine. And so we imagine that, because actually if you see the video, this guy is just shaking his head. And so it's just imagine that it's just shaking it out and coming out of this period of time where you can go around with his eyes and see. I said like you can see people queuing in these buildings, not breathing. That's how I imagine the story. But finally he shakes it out and he comes back to a new life. And then in the background you will see all these positive words that the audience actually participated in. Then you see close to happy end the skull woman, Mrs. Skull, and this is like a Hackatao classic. So if we want to talk a little bit about the style, you can see, so Hackatao is an artist duo, so it's two people, and I think that it's very evident from like when you look at the pieces. So you have this two styles combined together to form a very unique style. So in the head, the black and white part, which is drawn on canvas or on paper, it's the very detailed part where inside you have all the words that inspired the piece, and like, you know, all these drawings are very detailed. And then all around you have this flat style of very pop colors, which is the contribution of the other person of the duo. And yeah, I mean, with I believe that Hackatao is like one of the most unique styles on the crypto art world right now. It's very recognizable, like you see, you know that it's Hackatao. And it's great that they could combine this completely opposite styles in something which is very balanced and unique. And then you have the frog, which is because the artists are very involved with the theme of environment and ecology, and so that's the piece of the frog jumping. So yes, and also you have, like, if you go around on the top of the room, there is a huge pot mark. There is just a homage to the sculptures to the little sculptures that which Hackatao started with, and
I think someone has a question. One of our fellow spacers. No, it's a mistake. Raising hand. Okay, if you have a question.
Oh, here I see a raising hand. No.
No, you can continue.
Okay. Then if you proceed in front of Hackatao, you see 3 art pieces. Let me get closer. Me too. Let me walk. So these 3 art pieces where you have the Statue of Liberty with bubblegum and the NFT. So these pieces are from Prometheus. This guy, at first look, obviously you understand that he has a huge faith in technology. So the and very rebellious spirit against control and old systems and banks and everything. It's like crypto came to save us. And yeah, you have like the symbol of New York, but which is the symbol of like the American economy bubbles. So you have the Statue of Liberty like doing a bubble, and obviously the NFT in the brain. Proof of existence, the 3rd piece. And then you also see all these little sculptures around. So Fabiano helped in the setup of these, and the main sculpture in the middle, this was made by Kaisha, and they actually made it in VR. And then they put it here in crypto voxels. Then if you go to the room just like next to Prometheus, yes, so so this is Fabiano Speziari. when I saw this art, I felt like, so Fabiano, just imagine that like the world exploded and all these little pieces remained, and things were born on them. I really had the feeling of like all these different suspended worlds that it talks about. Like it could either be a bank that gives cash for your soul. It could
Did we lose you, or is it me who has a problem with the connection? Or did we lose Eleonora? Yeah, we lost her. Too much bandwidth. Actually, I can't even crypto voxel sometimes is it's hard to get open if you don't have a computer that is right on the powerful side. So hopefully she will come back. What do you guys think, like, when we waiting for her to come back? No, nothing. Okay. Well, I mean, one thing that like I can say from looking at CryptoVoxel is that like there are over 70 people at the opening, so it definitely beats our conference room. But at least we get Eleonora's explanations. But it's quite a success in terms of these synchronous events. So a lot of times, like when you have online events, the problem is that there's not really any reason to go at one specific time, like to see, like, you know, especially on the platforms like the NFT platforms. While you have the work today, you will have it tomorrow. But CryptoVoxel really put some effort to encourage these types of events and gathering, and yeah, so it's working quite nicely. I think we have a few other people who were involved in the exhibition. I don't know if you guys have a comment. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I got disconnected.
It's fine.
So,
I was thinking.
okay. Was I in the on that little room when I disconnected?
Yeah, I think Hackatao screen is still on that screen, on that little room.
Okay, Hackatao is in Fabiano's room. Hackatao, can you go to on that little room? Yeah. Oh, this thing is cool. See, I give commands and it goes. Okay, so here we are. And so the artist is Undead Lou. I really loved the cyber prayer piece because I felt it's all the three pieces are very representative of our current time. You can see like this woman wearing a funeral costume with a huge mask, and this other girl very nostalgic and introspective. But the cyber prayer, which looks to me like a Virgin Mary, cyber Virgin Mary, I think that it's like very representative of the condition of humanity right now, because of what we all know. And it's like I imagine this because her expression is very sad and while she's praying though, and I imagine her to be like Virgin Mary, so the mother that we are all looking for, and that we want the forgiveness from, which I identify with the planet. So it's like she, you know, she's seeing us learning the lesson and for having destroyed and caused pain. She's praying for us, and eventually she will take us back and forgive us. I really love this piece. Very, very representative of the time, I think. And then if we go to the other room in the back, yeah, this is X6C. Yes, so as I wrote, X6C, it's pretty much impossible to come out of like the fruition of his art pieces without having learned tons of notions about mathematics, about like history, about the blockchain. So what you see here in the form of art pieces is the proof that like technology and mathematics can have a very poetic aspect. Yes, so the art pieces are created with code, and I was having a talk with the artist, which was very interesting because like I was saying that like I don't think that the code should be showed together with the art during an art show, but then he really made me think about the fact because I was comparing like the code with brushes, and it was like you cannot compare brushes for a painting and code for generative art, because it's still like the interaction is different and it's stronger, and it's really a collaboration with the machine. So it's not like merely a tool, which opened my mind into this. And so you have these beautiful abstract pieces. Yes, so the block of Ethereum, and like you have another piece which is not here. We where like all these blocks are represented, and they really look like the Starry Night Van Gogh. So very romantic and poetic, although behind this there are huge experiments of calculations and blockchain nodes and like studies of technology. And then if we go upstairs,
Are you going to tell us about the bar?
So the bar was made with the help of Fabiano. Virtual, but you can always, as I always say, like you can always keep alcohol next to you. So that's good. Okay, so here we are at the Mattia Cuttini 3 art pieces. I believe many of you know Mattia. I have been knowing him for a while, but I just went deeper into his art, and the piece that I wrote about him was like, I was talking about him like the circle of life. Like Mattia has a strong relationship with paper, and I think like when I talk to him about his art, I always tell him like you shouldn't forget about where you are coming from, because even if sometimes it's hidden in your digital pieces, you know, like in these mandala pieces that he does, like giving input to machine learning systems, and then like taking the results and then not being satisfied with the results and feeding another machine learning for the second time, and even feeding another machine learning for the third time. It was still born from paper, and in the end I think that it's very like it's an element which is very present in all these art pieces. So it's very nice to see how it's not a combination, it's really like just experimenting around with different techniques, but I think that where someone has such a strong point in their art, they really should try to, you know, to keep it, also because it's not possible to. So for instance, the hand that you see, it's all these little paper stamps that he made and that he animated. So even though you don't see, paper is always there. Then if we see the other pieces, so next to Mattia's pieces, there is, this is a project. It's called Cicatrici e Baci, so scars and kisses. So, so this artist, basically she translated into visual, like stories of the life stories of people she's encountered with, who suffered and have like this pain scars. But so first of all, the beautiful part is that she gives a visual voice, if you can say that, to these stories. And second is that somehow these scars, of course they are scars and they will remain scars, but they find redemption in the art. So there is a sort of happy ending. You cannot have a happy ending with a scar, but there is redemption, which I think is very beautiful. And then if we go to the other room, yeah, so on the right, you have White Dada. So this artist is playing Sincerity is Scary. So this artist is playing with words, which I was thinking when I was looking at his art pieces, that words have lost so much of their power, which is very nice for us to be reminded of them. So this artist starts in digital, and then he translates to physical, and it's in a model on canvas, and then he translates back to digital, and it does digital animation. So what he does, it's like, it's this, he writes some words, which I think they are statements, like sincerity is scary, and then he compacts them. Like if you look inside the animation, in fact, sincerity is scary is written there. So you don't see it, but it's there. And it just invites you to change a little bit your perspective, either in physical or in digital, just to see how these words look like. And then close to him, we have let me open it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay. Yeah. So and then close to White Dada, we have Bangango, which we understand where the name is coming from. So Bangango, as you can see, this piece is about quarantine, the world, and people in quarantine. His art, so he usually starts from squiggles and doodles, and he did the same here. You can also see from the title of all his pieces. Here he is like he's depicting yes, the people in lockdown. What I have seen, which I like very much, is that you have parts filled with gray and parts filled with colors, and the colors are inside, which is where the people are, and it's like they created this new universe with all these planets inside, because we all moved inside. And then you have, but you still have, like, people want connection. So you have this person screaming through the speaker, "Hey You," which is a song from Pink Floyd, like looking for connection, and eventually like the colors will take over the gray. And then yes, and then this other piece by Arctic, I spoke to this artist in these days. She's a very young artist, and she said that she has been drawing since the day she can remember of. And she said that she was too much in the schemes on drawing, like with too many rules, and so she wanted to come out. And she started to finally do what she likes, and also like started to creating digital, where she thinks she has much freedom, and she does generative art, so she uses code. And here you have this piece which is called Time Passing, and obviously you can understand that the artists have the feeling that it's like a never stopping clock. And then let's see where Hackatao is taking us.
Hi, Leonora, can I say something about the last artist? I'm Massimo.
Of course.
Hi. She's in fact one of my students. I teach computer science, and sometimes I also speak about blockchain. And so it was, I think, 1 or 2 years ago that she came to me, and I presented the gallery Super Rare, and she was very interested. And it was like 1 year, 1 year and a half. And at that time, Super Rare was very permissive, so not very restrictive. So she asked the gallery to enter, and then 2 days later she was in. And so this is a nice story to tell. So she was basically a student of computer science, but with a talent for art, probably. Okay.
Yeah, she didn't start a long time ago, to be honest. I don't know when you suggested her this, but it's not a long time that she's been on Super Rare, right?
Yeah, it's I think 1 year, 1 year and a half.
Yeah. Okay, so Christiana Vector, I believe she's an art. I believe this artist is also one artist from the amazing platform Dada. So this artist has a very strong relationship with. She just wants to translate into art the strong feelings that of beauty and enchantment that she gets from nature. And so, like, this is a photo that she took of her, I believe, her homeland, and then she just put, she's just like added this mythological figure. So she's adding elements just to translate to people what she actually feels about nature. We can see that there are. Okay, where are we going, Hackatao? Who's this? Here we are in the panic room. So the panic room. These art pieces are made, as I was telling earlier, by this one of the most emerging artists that I've ever met in my whole life. Their name is Kaisha. It's a sisters duo of 9 and 5 years old. If we can get out of the panic room and go around where their pieces are exhibited, you will see that their art is like so pure, and they are so convinced of what they're doing. Basically, they do whatever they want to do. So they made themselves. They took a photo, made themselves like inside this rocket, and then started their trip to the space. And they took us. You can see that they are inside the rocket. and many other pieces that you can visit on Super Rare. I love them. Very active artists, very sparkling, and I believe it really is the only ones who could create the panichrome.
Yeah. Is it? Do you know how they create them? Is it like pictures of like what tools, or like is it like more?
I know that they use Photoshop a lot and the apps of Photoshop. So, for instance, the sculpture that you have seen at the entrance, they did it on VR. The pieces they use, they use Photoshop a lot. For the space, I believe that they took a photo of themselves and then they draw and paint and then put it on the computer and they use Photoshop. They come from a good school. Let's see.
I know.
And then this is the huge podboard that we were talking about. This artist, Fabiello. Allora Fabio, this artist has been on a path in his life, obviously like all of us, but it was like really looking for like always always like lost in the duality of like technology and love for art and drawing. So all the pieces that you see from him, she first draws on paper, and then for instance, this one is drawn on paper in black and white, and then when he become animated online, the colors come. And now, like I was talking to him, and he said that he finally feel to be on his road to life, where he found in crypto a place where he could combine technology and art together and draw. So this piece represents an idea. It's called idea. And so when this idea comes, as I was searching for the etymology of idea, which comes from the Greek language, and it means to see, now he can see, and so everything becomes in color. You could check his page on Super Rare. Very interesting artist combining physical and digital. And go around on the right. Yes. Okay, so this is Serste, an artist who has a very strong relationship with nature in real life. But she says that she really believes in nature, including like human beings are included in nature. So but if you look at her other art pieces, you can see that she depicts many animals because it's like her daily life, but also like human beings also look into the future of these biotechnologies and how it potentially could be. So if you see the piece in the middle, green and red piece, I believe that it's a good portrait of like it's a bad portrait, but it's a real portrait of human conditions. It's like basically like human beings treated like animals, like fed, but they cannot move. They are in a cage, even though they're not. So very representative of many aspects of society. And yes, and these women from the future. So nature and technology. I was telling her, it's like you have it all. Because after this pandemic, what we've learned is that we won't be able to live without nature and technology. That's the two things.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. I know. And yeah, wait, let's see where we are. Oh, okay, here we are at Donno. So Donno is a generative artist, and his art pieces are, it's like he looks at reality through the lens of geometry and minimalism, as you can see here. So he says that this is the refiguration of the creative process in the brain, which I was like, because it's actually like the opposite, because it's regular and calm, and but this is how he sees reality. He said that he represented the creation this way also because he he extends his power of creation through learning mathematical methods. So I believe it's more like grounded and regular. And then on the right we have Alessia Cottons. So this piece, she said, basically she represented how the virus would look like if it was a person. So this artist, she studies fashion, so she kind of combined like her knowledge about fashion and art in this piece. And I was interested because I was like, okay, this is not like in the US, but everyone has been like, the virus has been called the invisible enemy. While here the enemy is not invisible anymore. She's like, it's like an enemy coming to like to penetrate inside you without telling you, and then like attacking you. And I said, and take your breath away, which has a double sense with what the virus do. So now it's a sensual woman. Okay, did we see all the pieces? I think so.
This is amazing. I mean, we can go a little bit over, but I want to take a chance for people to, if they have questions before they leave. Thank you so much for the overview, and just if you missed any artist name or any description, Eleonora did a great job at sharing the artist profiles in the past 2 days. So what's your Twitter handle, Eleonora?
Eleonora Brizi, I believe. Let me check. Oh my God. Allora.
So I mean, and it's on ETHTurin, so you can definitely like find them back. I know I was thinking, like, when you were explaining, you should really, write a book about it, and like an anthology of Italian crypto art in 2020. I mean, I have a question, like, for you, like, if you have seen okay, sorry, I'm having a little have you seen any with attends maman s'il te plaît, I have to show you that from Louis. Here you go. Thank you. Have you seen any like characteristic of Italian art? We've seen a lot of you talked about nature. There's a lot of abstract or work with some of like classic twist. Have you seen any other and I don't want to say like common elements to like Italian crypto art, but anything you've analyzed after getting all this research done?
So yeah, that's a good question. So in terms of themes and topics, I have to say that like surprisingly not. I couldn't find a common factor in that. The only thing probably that I have seen more compared to like many artists that I know, for instance, from New York, is the physical presence. And that's when I said, like, okay, this is Italy and like Italian art. So many of them starts or translate or use that physical element, many of them. So I haven't seen too many artists like native of the digital, or like not having anything to deal with physical. And that, I think that it's like 100% Italian.
Awesome. Well, I mean, this is such a treat, and really want to thank you and Sergio and all the artists who are in the show for putting that together, because this is something that's quite revolutionary as well in the space, and that we don't get to see that often. So really, thank you for that.
Thank you for having us. This was fun. And, if there is something that we can do, even not in this time, like all the times, it helped us to, gather together a group of people, which is always nice. And as you were saying, we are coming from somewhere. So the fact that now you located these people, you can even go and meet them and discuss with them in person. I think that it's nice. And also it was nice for Italian people, because I don't think that they're very used to crypto voxels. I'm not talking about the crypto community. I'm talking about Italians. And so through me, for instance, that I know people who are not crypto people, they're all in here today. And so I'm very happy that you gave us the chance to do this, because so many people don't even know what
any bridge any bridge we can make, the more the merrier.
Yeah, we did for non-con, we did all our after parties in crypto voxels in the Crypto Wiener section. And I don't know if you know Crypto Wiener, but if you don't, you should check them out.
Okay.
Yep. Really, they make really cool pixel art of Viennese characters with great German double entendre plays on words, and they built a whole, you really should check them out. They built a whole little version of Vienna with the Museum's Quarter art gallery there, and cafes, and the Ferris wheel, and classic Vienna sausage stand and whatever. And they just won an award for a blockchain award from the Chamber of Commerce in Austria, blockchain award for their art. They make really, really awesome stuff. I was so blown away. I discovered them right before non-con and went, oh yeah, let's do this there. And they made wearables for the avatars, and they give beer out, and they really expanded on the whole Crypto Voxels, art exhibition space. They host the Block and Wine exhibition, which is another local blockchain group and stuff. So yeah, they've built one of the coolest spaces that I've seen in Crypto Voxels. And for you as a curator, I would definitely point you out them, because they're totally on the cutting edge of art in that space. Yeah.
Cool. I will check them out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello. I only want to say thank you to Eleonora one more time, and say hello to Fanny in real person. Ciao. So basically, I hope that next time we will meet in 3D and not with these filters.
I know.
Yeah. And so thank you. It's only ranch food. Ciao.
Yeah, man.
No,
cheers.
thank you.
Oh,
thank you.
An excellent tour through all the artworks and everything. I did it myself right before you started, and looked at everything, and so having your group tour through there is excellent. You should also talk with the people at the Ethereum Foundation for DevCon, because we're working on different experiences for DevCon now that are both meet space and virtual. And I suggested that we do something in crypto voxels. So it would be really, really cool to have you as an art expert in this space, who's curating and building exhibitions, to maybe do something for DevCon. I don't know. We don't know where the DevCon location is going to be yet, but I would assume that we're going to probably do with some sort of 3D map or 3D ground plan for Interspace. And so it would be really, really cool to have something that was dedicated to a curated art exhibition for DevCon. Just take this to the next level and don't stop what you're doing. It's really excellent work. I'm a lifetime artist, and I haven't participated in any of these spaces, but I've been paying attention to them, and I know a lot. I was working at Status when we sponsored Super Rare, so I know those guys from really the beginning, when they've got their first funding from Status, and we did the first exhibitions at Crypto Life in Prague and stuff. And watching what you just did is really, for me as an artist and as an event producer, absolutely spot on, man.
Thank you.
Great work, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, and
so I can get you in touch with I can keep you updated on and get you into some sort of loop and building something out for DevCon. Okay.
Please do.
Yeah. So write to me on Discord or on Telegram or on Twitter, Exiled Surfer, anywhere you'll find me. Just get in touch with me so that we can get you into the mix of whatever's going to happen. Nothing's fixed yet, but I'm pushing for it, and seeing your work is definitely another piece that I can throw on the fire to make something like this happen for DevCon.
Thank you. It's okay. We're all pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
No, thank you. I think this was a great end of the day, and very inspiring and fun. And again, it's like a small family reunion. It's still very very nice to I mean, we all know each other, virtual or not. Like make a difference.
Right. I mean, you and I, we met. I didn't even realize that we had met in the philosopher's round with Andy and all of those people in Prague and stuff. And so now we're working together. And yeah, this is what these virtual spaces are about. Is just maintaining the relationships that we have in Meet Space and then bringing them into both spaces.
And we had, I believe that we had an intuition long way before all of these happened. So we should keep pushing, because like all these other people who didn't consider the space until now, they're just doing, I always talk about this because what they're doing is just a mere translation, like talking about art or like art fairs or anything. They're just translating what they were doing to digital, which doesn't work. So we were native already, and so it's a different kind of like it's
absolutely
content. So we should keep pushing, because at least we were proved that we were on the right way. For this, I'm very happy.
Do either of you guys know Dan Lowe from Blocks?
No.
So Dan Lowe from Blocks, BLOXX, is working together with the Guggenheim for doing digitally native exhibitions for the Guggenheim, also with blockchain-based provenance stuff. Might be something that you guys, both as art people, might want to look up. He's kind of like a heavyweight in the institutional space, but a total like punk rock dude. But circulates with the hoi polloi and the business people of the art world, which is also always good to have as the, as a bridge. There's always a need for moving new arts into the institutional spaces that are relevant, like the Guggenheim. So yeah, that's another little tip that I would throw in your direction.
Okay.
I can hook you up with his contacts as well when you ping me. Yep.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Cool. So Fanny,
all right, guys.
Today. You've been up all night, right?
Okay, so
I woke up at 3, but now I'm just gonna have a nap.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
We'll be in touch over the weekend. All right. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Daniel, you can also stop the live stream.